Good morning, viewers, from wherever you're watching us from. It's always good to be back in this platform. This is QTV's This Morning platform, wherever you're watching us from. It's Monday, the 24th of June, 2024. We are saying a warm welcome to yet another edition of This Morning program from wherever you're watching us from. Ñu ngi laajte rek di leen nuyu fu waay munte nekk rek si biir réew mi ak si bitim réew si beneen edition yi This Morning programme la here on QTV. Xam ngeen ne rek nuñ ko dee baaxoo di defee saa su ne rek si This Morning platform bi dañ dee am newspaper review, dañ dee am suñ proverb boo xam ne is always very interesting, dañ dee am divergent views from people, and tamit dañ dee invite tamit ñeen ñu nekk di seetaan tamit ngeen send in your comments, your contributions on the program, because program bi ñu yëpp a si bokka noonu lañ ko dee defee rek. Tamit dañoo am guest yoo xam ne dañ am solo waxtaane loo xam ne lu am solo fii saa su ne rek si This Morning program bi. And this morning I'm joined by my co-host Momodou Mbodj and our newspaper review guest, who is no other than the GPU president, Mohamed Esba. Mohamed nag bàyyoon nañu tuuti daf ñu dawoon waaye I'm glad that ñëwaat na xam naa ne namoon ngeen ko torop waaye mu ngi ni tey di ñu join ci This Morning program bi. Good morning, Mr. Mbodj. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. And you?
I'm good.
Did you have a good weekend? So what happened?
How was your weekend?
Man, of course, the football in the evenings, football is taking up most of our times in the evenings, really, the Euro 2024.
Yes.
And the like. And then on Saturday I had a surprise guest, you know, and then I was chuffed about it, and I'm still beaming, as it were, from that wonderful surprise.
Really? What a guess. I will not allow you to go into details on that.
Oh,
But yeah,
please.
you had a very nice weekend. I could tell, like, the moment I saw you this morning, I knew, like, your weekend was spectacular.
That's the whole idea. You know what I mean? In the old days, I remember on Saturday when I was leaving, after we recorded the weekend review, I was saying to somebody, I said, I'm going to Samedi Soir. He really had no idea what I meant.
Exactly.
It's a different language from a different age. So that was really how I did it. Samedi Soir really meant that after the week, you've worked so hard during the week. So on Saturday, you can let your hair down, as it were.
Ambience. Tutti. Good morning, Mr. Ba.
Yeah, good morning.
My Papa MS.
It's a pleasure having me. Bayo malen, yan ang mabay.
Needed. Bigla mo sa bayo. How was your weekend?
Yeah, normal weekend, nothing, extraordinary, doing one or two things. Yeah, no chilling, just like
Mr.
Mr. Mbodj.
You didn't have fun?
Yeah, I did.
So we are the same.
Yeah,
It wasn't an exciting weekend.
It wasn't, but normal stuff.
Normal
at
stuff.
home, yeah.
Okay, that's good. So on the program this morning, we will look at some of the newspapers, and we will look at our African proverb. It's really interesting, as always. And we will also look at cybercrime bill, which has been, tabled at the National Assembly 2023, which provides general principles establishing criminal liability for participating in offenses relating to cybercrime, as well as provisions on various types of offenses aimed at protecting citizens from computer-related crimes, which is very, very interesting. So it will be good to look at the bill itself, the merits and of the bills, and everything surrounding the bill. So I'll be joined by Mohamed Esba, who is the president of the Gambia Press Union, and also we are expecting Amadou Eba, who is the president of the Gambia Cybersecurity Association. And we will also look at crimes, because of recent we've been seeing lots of crime or criminal cases reported at the police and all of that. So we'll be expecting the PRO of the Gambia Police Force, who is Modu Musa Sisaho, to talk to us about, the recent arrests that they've made, the issue of Kush and other related crimes, happening in the country. These and others coming ahead on This Morning platform. So we're just rolling straight to the program. Mr. Mbodj. Our African news, our African proverb.
Yeah, why don't you read it? You read it. I like the way you read.
You like? No, Mr. Mbodj, that's my terrorize. Why? It's good. It's always the co-host who reads it. But anyway, terrorize. So our African proverb this morning: however long the night, the dawn will break. however long the night, the dawn will break. I think that is a really straightforward proverb there. So I will allow MS to go first on the proverb.
So you are terrorizing me.
No, I'm not.
No, let's pass the baton. Let's pass the baton.
Yeah, you say however the night.
However long.
However long the night, the dawn will break. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. There are certain things that are inevitable in life, obviously. Whatever you see has time. And then I can say probably people also, when you live, you die, obviously. So you must live for a purpose. So I think, you know, basically that is it, for people to bear in mind that, you know, you have to live for a purpose, because probably you have, when you are a child, you must grow. When you grow, you must die, obviously. Absolutely. So everything is given a specific time. So, but how meaningful would you utilize the time? What are the impacts? What impact do you have while you're living? You know,
that's an interesting one there.
Yeah, that's my understanding and interpretation of
that's really an interesting one there. I like the angle he took, actually. So, but what's your own interpretation?
That's the nature of these proverbs. You can go in any direction, really. Yeah. For me, the key thing I take from this proverb is about patience. That patience to wait, to endure, a bit like the farmer, the agriculturalist. You sow your seed and you wait. Yeah. That patience to wait. In the hope,
that
it's always a hope.
Yeah.
It's always hope.
Yeah.
In the hope that things will get better. Yeah. That sort of thing. So it is quite interesting here. There's another related saying, epigrammatic, I suppose, that I like, that the gifts that come from above, you get them through patience.
Patience, yeah.
And the gifts that come from below, you get them through prudence. I said, fantastic, that's my formula, essentially. So if you can really cultivate your patience, I think there are rewards there. That's where God tests, I think, people, I suppose. So I take patience mainly as the main lesson, as it were, of this proverb.
Interesting. I'm not really, I don't have a different interpretation from yours. Patience, you know, like they always say, it's a virtue. You know, it's very important. Sometimes it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for really to be patient, because you'll be confronted with life situations, and at some point, you know, you're carried away by the situation. And if you're not really careful, or if you're not patient enough, or if you don't have faith, it's always difficult to really bounce back, you know, as it were. I'm stealing your word. to bounce back. So I think that is very, very important. Whatever it is in this life, just know that better days will come. No matter how long the night, there is always a brighter day ahead of you. You know, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. So it's good that, you know, whatever it is that you're facing with this morning, whether in the last night or whatever it is that you're confronted with, just be patient, take your time, reflect on the situation, and then be patient enough to know that, okay, better days are going. This is life, after all. It can't be all rosy, you know, every day. Sometimes you're bound to have challenges here and there. But what is really makes you special or stand out is the fact that you're able to be patient enough to really reflect on the situation and not allow it really to take you away to your self-esteem and all of that.
But this is my suspicion, This is where the problem is. Okay, imagine you sort of want to cultivate a sort of patient temperament. Yeah. So what actions would it lead me to? It is in the application of ideas in real situations that you face complex situations, and you're like, ooh, what does it mean here? What does it mean? That's why life is difficult. You know what I mean? There seems to be a gap between our words, and when we have to apply them in real situations in different situations and the like. So that is really one of the places where you have that difficulty. So one must always think, really, when I'm patient, where can I apply it? What actions would that lead me to? if I see that, for instance, you know, with I have a 5-year-old son and he's got a 3-year-old sister, when they're playing about, you know, doing naughty stuff,
Yeah.
would I have the patience in dealing with them, or would I be so short-tempered then I hit them? See my angle. For me,
Yeah.
I have a passion about hitting kids and that sort of thing.
yeah.
And it's all, I see it within parents. It's really from our lack of patience.
Patience, yeah.
Really. Kids will piss you off 99 times out of 100. That's their job. That's all
Trust
they
me.
know.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing. Patience in dealing with people, your colleagues, and everything else. I think it's very important in relationships, as it were.
It is,
You should be absorbent. You know, focus on what is significant,
And
and
let
certain
go of,
trivial things, perhaps, just understand and move
yeah,
on.
it's part of life, yeah.
Well, you know, you cannot do anything about it. You know, you're going to face tricky situations in life anyway. That's the nature of it. So how do you deal with it? How do I adapt to reality?
Situations, yeah. I think that's very important. We are not also saying that, okay, you're confronted with a situation and then you just sit around, do nothing about it. You know, okay, yalla bahna, yalla base at all. Okay, yalla bahna.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
it
not
doesn't mean
sometimes you're
sloth. Patience doesn't mean sloth.
Exactly.
Just
So,
sitting
in as much as we are encouraging people to be patient, it's good also to, you know, work out the situation, know what is really the problem is, and try to find out, you know, what the problem is and find solution to the problem, but not just sit around and say, okay, I'll be patient, and you're not doing anything about it, and you expect results.
But this is where what I said earlier matters. The gifts from above, patience, but the gifts from here, below. This is the idea.
It requires hard work, yeah.
Prudence, thinking about my situation, going for the optimal option, as it were, you know, stuff like that. These are the things that will bring success or failure. We've seen it in life. Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's interesting there. So let's head straight to some of the newspapers we have. We have the Standard, Point, and Foroyaa with us. Quite interesting headlines here. Senegalese journalist interviews Jammeh in exile. We would love to know what the interview is all about, really. So 3 die of alleged drug abuse. We've been seeing cases
is it the
of...
Kush? The Kush, is it?
I suspect is that, because I saw on social media that is it 2 people who died of, you know, Kush in around Bara, Esau and all of that. So I suspect is the Kush issue.
Because I know that generally, we covered one story the other day.
Yeah.
I think generally they've got, 4 reported deaths, I think,
yeah.
you know, regarding Kush.
Kush,
you know, Kush caused deaths. Absolutely. This is I don't want to use alarmist language, but maybe it's something that you must really confront and nip at the bud. I'm not sure really whether it's that widespread. It's not quite at an alarming level right now. So now how do you just throttle it as it begins to show its ugly head? How do you throttle that? I think that is really the challenge the police have right now.
Yeah, it's sad that young people are dying of this menace. You know, we've seen reported cases, even drugs coming into the country, and you know, through the porous borders. I think even recently at the airport, some people were intercepted at the ports, you know, and then young people are more vulnerable. These are the future leaders, and then these are young people who are innocent, most of them. I think it's, as he rightly stated, we need to address this issue, because every time you hear cases, you see, you know, even robbery, a lot of crime, petty crimes, and a lot of things happening in the country, and then people will say, oh, these things are not happening, we are not happening before. But most of these people will tell you, you know, it's because of the drugs that these young people are abusing, and they can do anything, with, you know, after abusing those drugs. We've seen murder cases all over. So I think it's alarming. It's a looming threat. It's a looming danger. It's a serious looming danger, because if people are losing lives, obviously, it's a looming threat right now.
Yeah.
It's becoming an epidemic issue in the country. So
It
I
is.
believe it should be tackled. If not, we don't know what will happen, what
Yeah.
may happen next. So drugs,
Especially the border communities.
yeah, exactly. These drugs are coming into the communities. And then I saw a documentary how course is, you know,
It's serious,
can I say
yeah.
produced or manufactured, because it's locally made. They mix these drugs with some, you know, human bones and stuff. So I think it's serious.
It
this,
is.
this is a serious issue that need to be addressed.
That's it. But
Yeah.
but Mr. Bahia, let me just confirm, clarify certain things. When you say that it is an epidemic, what exactly is an epidemic? Use of drugs generally, or kush? What do you mean by what is an epidemic?
Yeah.
right
The use
now?
of drug itself.
You reckon it's an epidemic?
Yeah. It's
Why do you say that?
Yeah, because it's widespread. We've seen.
How do you know that?
Yeah,
have you done
It's
any?
always not. Yeah, it's the reports that are coming out every day
Yeah, we know that
on the
there's a
newspapers.
sizable number, but whether
It's
I am warranted to call it an epidemic.
Yeah, it could
that's-
be. In
that's
my
really
own
what I'm-
interpretation, it is. For me, I believe it is, because people are using it to do certain things. I'm not saying this kush specifically. I'm talking about drugs in
Drugs in
general.
general.
Okay.
You know, if you go to remand right now, you are seeing young people killing. You know, a lot of people. Murder cases. People are there. They are remanded. Young people who were allegedly involved into drugs, peddling, and among other things. And then we've seen recently, just during the weekend, you know, someone was given something, you know, a woman reported to be giving drugs, and then he died because of that. So it's a serious case. It's,
Absolutely.
you know, generally, I'm not saying
Right.
only the coups, but
Yeah,
generally,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the reports that are emanating from even drug law enforcement agency
Yeah.
is serious.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and then there is a task force also,
Yeah,
you know, that was, you know, established. So government, if it is not serious, obviously
It
they
is
will not.
certainly a
They will
rising
not.
trend.
They will not. You know, invest in personal people. You know, to address these things.
No, what one is trying to avoid, of course, it's a rising trend.
Yeah, it's a
Everybody's
rising-
seeing
I
that.
agree.
Everybody's
I agree,
seeing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But one is also trying to hold sort of
To
kind
exact-
of a balance,
yeah,
as
balance,
it were.
yeah.
How bad is the problem?
Problem.
Because sometimes when I overstate it, then my solution possibly will be overstated.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you sort of
Unders-
create what they call a moral panic,
Yeah.
that is really when governments can come with really draconian laws.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So I want to keep the balance of what is the reality
Obviously,
out there.
but the reality,
You know what I mean?
reality
What is
is
the
people
reality?
people are dying.
Oh yes, a good number.
Yeah, a good number of people are dying, and you've
Absolutely.
seen reported cases on daily basis. You've seen drug-related crimes. Maybe if you have the PRO, you can even ask him what is
yeah,
the case
yeah, we are
as of now.
expecting him
So,
later
but
on.
these are the realities that are happening in our communities. If you go to, you know, even you don't even need to see a report. You just go around the streets. You see what is happening. Young people, we know. So we are living in this society. We know what is happening. So it's a serious.
Absolutely.
This is a serious
Case,
issue,
issue,
and
absolutely.
government should take it seriously. I
Seriously,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
So another report is GAF intercepts migrant boat with over 60 on board. I'm not sure if it's GAF because I was there. It's the Gambia Immigration Department that together with other and partners who intercepted this boat, which was really carrying 67 migrants, would-be migrants. So I'm not sure. I think that must be a mistake on the side of the standard.
Maybe the you know, mostly the interception, if it is done by like when they have the information, you know, the Gambia Immigration Department is in the loop, and then they contact probably the Navy.
Yeah,
to
they are
help.
in collaboration
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the Navy,
So
the
probably
Spanish
they're using.
National Police.
Yeah, maybe it's not
Yeah.
the GAV like as an entity, but sometimes they collaborate
Yeah.
because they have the capacity to, you know, to go and then
Exactly.
get them, you know,
Yeah,
and then bring them.
Yeah, they are
over.
trained.
Yeah,
They are trained
yeah.
to really do that. But
Exactly.
yeah, they
so
are in
I agree.
collaboration with,
Yeah,
with
it should be in
yeah.
collaboration so
yeah,
that the
not,
it's.
not GAF as an entity.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I
that
agree.
must be an
Yeah, I
oversight
agree.
from
Yeah,
the standard.
yeah,
Yeah, but the issue of migration, we've seen that a lot of people of recent are really embarking on this migration. Is it two months ago the incident in Bakau that claims the lives of so many people, youngsters in Bakau. It's really alarming, but the issue of migration or irregular migration seems to be an issue still. People can't find tangible solution to address this. And I've seen what is really worrying is the fact that I'm seeing young people embarking on this journey, women and children. That day I was really emotional to see like close to a 12-year-old really embarking on this journey, and I was like, okay, what was the purpose of him embarking on this journey? He hardly knows what life is all about. So I mean, what is his justification? So it's really serious, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a global problem. If you look at the migration, the irregular migration happening in America, in the US, people trying to smuggle themselves through the Nicaragua-Mexico border to the US. Also the Gambia, obviously, is not an exception. It's a serious thing. I think we need a holistic approach. As you stated, because, you know, obviously 12-year-old, you know, sometimes even less than that, you see people, you know, kids going through this back way. It's dangerous, and we are also seeing mass deportation from Europe. So people are going, they are returning others. So it's like you cannot say this is the answer. Like you cannot just say, well, yeah, this is just the answer. So I think it has to be, as I said, the approach should be holistic. Because it's not only Gambia's problem. We've seen Senegal also. But we also have to look at our realities in context. What is causing young people going into this back way? One, is it the push factor, and is it the pull factor? These are the things. What is making them to leave the country? What is also motivating them to go? So these are the answers that we need to know, the push factors and the pull factors.
And some of the officials that I spoke to off camera that day was the fact that the Spanish officials, of course, and they were like, okay, we are not really against people going to Europe. What we are against is the fact that people will go there without any skills, and you go there and you'll be like a burden to, you know, to the European countries. Even in the Gambia, you're a burden if you don't have any skills. So talk less of going to someone else's country and then you don't have any skills or whatsoever, and you just sit there and expect things to really work out for you. So I think there is a misconception surrounding this irregular migration, and he was clear about it. It was like, really, we are not against people coming to our country. The problem we have is that we have a lot of these people who do not have any skills or whatsoever. They don't have anything to offer to our country. So as a result, we are really forced to really either take them back, or, you know, we find other ways to really integrate them in the system. So I think
let us sort of slightly be careful with that kind of talk, because really, if you want to go through the formal channels to get a visa, they've made it extremely difficult.
Yeah, it is
so
difficult.
Advocates have been talking about this, you know, advocates for equality and all the rest of it. They've been talking about this, that the front way, you know, if you have a back way, then have a front way. You've made the front way so difficult that people are resorting to the back way. And this whole thing about having skills, that's essentially what we call brain drain. That's not what we want either. We don't, that is not in our interest. In many ways, really. You have to really come back. So migration encompasses a good number of things. Asylum seekers. We've seen conflicts around the world. That's why you have a lot of them, you know, particularly Afghanistan, Syria, far more, actually.
Syria, Syrians are traveling a lot. Ukraine, you have other places. The Palestinian stuff.
You see, and you go to the Horn of Africa. I mean,
Eritrea,
that's really the biggest humanitarian crisis,
Somalia.
According to the UN. Really, it's in there. So conflict is partly driving this migration in many ways. So the idea of backway in our particular situation, I think this is really, it's quite complex, it seems to me.
It is.
Of course, we go back to the economic argument. There's economic factors and stuff like that. But I think it is also mixed up with a
lot of things. It's beyond economic,
you know,
societal pressure. You have societal pressure. As I said, you either have the push factors or the
the
pull
pull
factors.
factors, yeah.
You know, mostly they will tell you, oh, you know, okay, look at your mates, they are doing this, they are doing that, and
yeah.
you understand those kind of things. And, you know, you think that is the best thing to do. You know, you understand. So
Yeah,
those are you have the push and the pull factors. So
yeah.
some of the economic factors, what he's talking about is, you know, unemployment, underemployment,
yeah.
you know, you understand all these things. People are working here from hand to mouth. They have skills, but probably what they are getting is not, they think, perceived to be not enough. Inflation also contributes a lot.
To
you
that.
know, climate change, you know, people who were farming, we've seen in the Badibus, in the LRRs, in the, you know, different farming farming communities. They are going in a mass. Like some villages, if you go there, you hardly see young people. If you ask, they will tell you, all these people have gone to the back way. Some have died, some have succeeded. So, as I said, it's a complex issue. These are issues that are happening. Inflation also counts a lot. These are realities that are happening.
Yeah.
So we need to also our education system, you know, are we just consuming knowledge? Probably people are more of being job seekers than job creators. People are not probably being trained to critically think on how to drive.
That's why now we're seeing more of TVET centers.
Exactly, those kind of
Ministry
things,
of Higher
you know,
Education,
skills and stuff. So I think it's like there are a lot of factors that has to really be looked into.
It's a complex issue.
No, it's a complex
trust
issue.
Me.
It's a
yeah,
you cannot just say this is
economic. Sometimes some
problem.
of them are embarking on it. Yeah. Maybe they have $200,000 and all of that.
Money.
Can they really make it here?
Yes.
You know, you wonder, you know, why they went to risk their lives to embark on such a journey. But also there are a lot of issues that, like you said, pressure and everything. So it's a problem. To find solution to irregular migration really will take a lot of issues, because people have motives of embarking
and the
on this
problem
journey.
with the visa issue, even within Africa, is very difficult to travel within Africa. So if if Africa is difficult, Europe is like another issue.
Our Dangote story.
Yeah, no, that's the fact.
Mr. Bush.
Yeah, well, that's the fact. If you want to travel, it's very expensive. If you want to take or pay air ticket from here to Ghana, it's just like paying air ticket from here to the UK. I'm telling you, these are the things. It's over $60-something thousand. It's within Africa. You know, like 800 plus to nearly $1,000. You know, some African countries you have to pay 1,500 or 2,000. It's just like going to Europe, paying air ticket. So these are the realities. Even within Africa, it's difficult. Also, the visa issue is also another thing.
And the sanctions too.
Exactly, the sanctions and others. So it's like, it's a whole lot of problems. These are a whole lot of problems that are, you know, that should be really looked into.
So, Barrow receives a report on NAWEC's performance. I'm really interested to know what the report is all about. Trust me.
I think.
And
one of
was
the
that from the
commission.
Commission.
One of the suggestions is to reduce NAWEC salary, the staff salary to, I think, 5%, thereabout. And then people were like, "Oh, why should you reduce someone's salary?" But anyway, I've not read the report in detail, but that was one of the things that I just saw.
Highlighted.
They highlighted.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's just that. Anyway, that I don't know what they used to come up with that. Maybe if they see that, maybe the top officials, but obviously some of the staff. You know, if someone is receiving $3,000, $4,000, and you want to reduce 5%
of that
plus the tax, and then so I think maybe, I don't know how they are going to approach this, but obviously some of the staff, they should not definitely touch their salaries.
That's the point. That's a fantastic point there, MS. I mean, because with this, when you superficially, obviously, it seems as if it's fair, 5% across the board, everybody. But you look at it again, then few questions begin to stand out. Do you want to tell me that they are all equally accountable to the same degree?
Exactly.
I am not so sure
There-
about
there
that.
is-
Nobody is sure
No,
about
no,
that because
they
you've
are
got the
not
key
even.
decision
They are
makers.
not.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
key decision
Yeah,
makers.
yeah.
Others, when you go down, you know, the chain, as it were, those at the bottom. They
That's
just
the
receive
first line that
instructions.
the
They receive
staff, the
instructions and
employees.
go on.
Yeah, of course.
So yes, for a good number of
Yeah.
people are quite uncomfortable
Yeah.
with this because really it isn't fair
It's
when
not
you
fair.
interrogate
Yeah.
it. It is not
Obviously,
fair
it will
Fair.
not.
at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So, finally, on the newspaper, resignations, accusations, rock victim center. I don't know what
Which one is this?
is the
Standards?
the following
Oh, point.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure because I don't. I've not read the.
Resignations.
I've not. Yeah, resignation, accusation, struck
Yeah.
victim center.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the news is
What the
about.
story is because
Yeah.
here we haven't got the
Yeah,
story
yeah,
really.
Yeah.
We've got
yeah,
only
so,
the headline.
Yeah,
Headline.
exactly, the headline.
Yeah.
So we
Can't
probably I
really
cannot
go
delve
deep
into it.
into
Yeah.
that. So, okay, thank you very much. MS, you're still staying with us to continue the program. Viewers, we will go for a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues. The station.
The fastest growing network in the Gambia now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Looking for internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work, and school projects? Think Free Night Browsing. QCell's Free Night Browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning program coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue, and we are going to another segment of this program, which is the cybercrime. We know that it's been happening a lot nowadays, bullying online and everything. You know, a lot of things are happening online, really. So it's important to talk about cybercrime. But is the bill really addressing cybercrime issues? Well, we will find out very soon. So I am joined by the president of the Gambia Cybersecurity Association, Amadou Eba, and Mohamed Esba, president of the Gambia Press Union, to talk to us about this cybercrime bill, which is tabled at the National Assembly. Good morning, gentlemen. Morning. Amadou. Awar Amade. Bàyyi nga ñu de Amadou, lu xew? Okay. Yeah. What are the issues in the cyber war?
A lot, anyway. We are seeing a lot of things happening, coming down to the Gambia. I think we have all seen the government has formulated a cybercrime bill. which our organization has been following from the drafting stage down to the National Assembly, and we are still following.
Interesting.
So a lot is happening.
So I will just start off with the cybercrime bill. Is it really drafted to address the issues of cybercrime? Because there are a lot of issues, really. People are saying, okay, the name is cybercrime, but it's not even addressing the issues of cybercrime.
So I think first and foremost, we first need to understand what's
Cybercrime, yes.
Which is very, very important. Essentially, the simple definition that we can give to cybercrime is, in any form that an electronic device is used to perform or conduct a crime electronically, can be considered as cybercrime. Looking at some of the things that are happening in the Gambia, an assessment was conducted. A cybersecurity and a cybercrime indexing assessment was conducted, and Gambia was ranked one of the lowest in West Africa in terms of vulnerabilities, which is a very, very big issue for us. We have seen a lot of things happening to some of our financial institutions in terms of cybercrime. So how do you ensure the perpetrators of some of these crimes are prosecuted? If you look at the existing laws we have, example, the Information Communication Act 2009 is only part 3, do you understand, that talks about cybercrime and computer misuse, which is very, very minimal. It doesn't even address some of the emerging cybercrimes, which becomes a problem for us as a country. So the Council of Europe were invited to come and do a comprehensive assessment, stakeholder engagement, to see some of our existing laws, ranging from the criminal code, you understand, to the Information Communication Act, you understand, to all the other related laws as far as computer misuse or computing crime is concerned. So this is where the need for separating the Information Communication Act to have a stand-alone cybercrime law. And this has been something that we have been fighting since way back in 2011. We have been our organization have been campaigning about this. We have been pushing this for a very, very long time, that it is high time for us to have a full-fledged law that look into purely cybercrime. And we are lucky. The government is able to formulate a cybercrime bill. But essentially, looking at also the bill, there has been a lot of issues that has been brought up. To us, we were involved from the drafting stage to the validation. But sometimes it's very, very difficult when you're dealing with government as a civil society. You bring your concerns. You bring up issues that need to be addressed. But you notice, looking at some of the challenges that we had during some of these validations and some of these things, most of the people that you invite into this validation, they don't even know these things.
In the first place, yeah. It's a challenge, yeah?
So it becomes a problem. I saw my brother's comment about the cybercrime bill, but I was like, okay, I think in the other way around also, we have to also hold them responsible. It was not during his time, but I can tell you vividly, the Gambia Press Union were fully informed to participate in the task force.
The cybercrime task force.
Yeah, the task force. So essentially, what happened? This was well before even he came to office. So most instances, the other challenge also that we have is that these documents, when they were made public for comments, see, I always say this: in the Gambia, we have a problem. Gambians don't read. We don't read. It's one of the biggest challenges that we have. So some of these documents were sent out into the public domain. I think one of the organizations that really look into these documents, scrutinize it, and come up with some position papers are G1 project through Alu Badara. And they did a fantastic job. We had a lot of series of engagement regarding the data protection and data protection and privacy bill, and also the cybercrime bill, because there are two important bills that are here. and people are confusing them. We have the cybercrime bill, we have the data protection bill,
Yes.
which is completely different. But I can tell you, there is a serious problem with the cybercrime bill that I can.
We will come to the problems.
If I understand you right, earlier on I think you said when it comes to cybercrime, we are sort of a low-risk country in Africa. I wonder, why do you think that is so?
So many factors. One, if we have what we call the critical national information infrastructures, which if you look at in the Gambia, our critical national information infrastructures that we have, there are more than 10. All the GSM companies are part of the critical information infrastructures. Meaning if a particular GSM company is being compromised, leading to their systems going down, can be a national security matter. You understand? We have the Gambia Telecommunication Company, GAMTEL, which is the anchor body. You know, we cannot afford for GAMTEL to be struck by a cybercrime. So if if an assessment is being conducted, they look at all these things. How secured are these critical infrastructures? What are some of the technologies that they deploy in ensuring the highest level of standard of security protocol is implemented? It doesn't only look at the virtual security aspect of it, like having servers, having very good firewalls, having intrusion detection system, anti-ransomware. You know, it's way beyond that. Even the appearance of the physical infrastructure, who have access to these infrastructures. Sometimes you'll be surprised, you visit some of these critical infrastructures, even the securities don't even screen people to understand what type of people are going into this place, what do they have with them. Yes, and these are things that are very, very much. So all these are factors that you critically.
We'll come back to you now.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Bar.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he said GPU was involved. Anyway, I'm not aware of it.
Yeah. Considering the issues on the
I'm not aware of it, and it's unfortunate. Anyway, I think the validation, I think this bill came into being in 2023, but the process has long been, you understand. Also, you know, there are different levels of involvement. You know, if you involve people by consultation, you know, you just consult people, or you just involve people just to get their ideas, but the final decision will not be there.
Be reflected,
you understand? Yeah. So we have those kind of level of involvement. So, but if you involve someone interactively, that is the interactive way of involvement, for example, because this thing needs a holistic approach in terms of cyber. What I understand about cybercrime, if you look at Ghana, they have these laws, very progressive, but their laws do not concentrate on policing morals. And this cybercrime bill is going even deep into policing morals, what is right, what is wrong in terms of how people behave and how they express themselves. Cybercrime, what I understand is like what he's saying, attack on people, stealing people's data, or attack malware, you know, all these things, all jargons, phishing, you know, trying to attack a very critical infrastructure, what he's saying. For example, the central bank issue was an issue of cybercrime because their system was attacked and then they were shut down. You understand? And they had to try and struggle. The internet problem, you understand? So all these things are cybercrime issues. But our cybercrime has been narrowly tabled to tell you, okay, what is insult. They didn't even say what is insult. They say insult, bullying, addressing people's well-being. If someone is
ashamed, is it causing harm to the
self-esteem of someone,
of political
so
figures,
what is that? So
like
you are going narrowly to police morals. You understand what is moral value or whatever, what is not moral, what is insult or what is not. I think the cybercrime should be more realistic. Even if you look at
and even the issue of publication or investigation in the media could be criminalized.
Exactly. You know, you can easily...
Where those that leave journalism
and even them as a civil society is attacking them because the government may be doing certain things or certain officials and then they expose it and they say, oh no, you're attacking someone's well-being. You understand? You are bullying them. You understand?
And even the media to some extent.
That's what I'm saying.
The media conducts
an investigative journalist can go into someone, you are involved in a scandal like Dr. Banja, you know, when he was interviewed, and then, you know, people can say that's bullying. So this law is subjected, and it is serious. And Gambians should not allow this law to go as it is. Yes, we should have a cyber crime law which addresses cyber crime issues, because we don't also want to have systems that are not protected. You know, for example, people can attack, God forbid, they can attack QCell, these systems, and then it is going to have a big toll on the citizens, because we are using communication, we are using internet, we are using everything. Those are the kind of things, the central bank. You understand? So we don't want to have laws that will polish moral, what is right or wrong. Go into the issue, cybercrime. If you don't have, these are the experts. I know they have given a lot of, I can tell you, you've given a lot of recommendations, but they are not there. They are not there. So you are consulted, you've given recommendations, you guys travel, and you understand maybe the dynamics, you are exposed to certain reports. Like, for example, Ghana can be used as a benchmark, because they have a very progressive law in terms of cybercrime and data protection. But if you are trying to bring what is morals, what should not be moral values and stuff into the cybercrime, then it's a shame. And another issue is there are certain laws that are still existing, and then the TRRC recommendation, one of it is false publication, which is accepted by government, that the TRRC recommendation states that these laws should be removed from our books. But these laws are finding themselves into this cybercrime bill
again.
You understand? So you want to reform, and then you are bringing these laws. And some of the laws that are also in the ICT Act 2009, amendment with the amendment 2013, like how can a police officer can merely come and then confiscate your gadget without judicial oversight? You can just meet someone, and it's subjected to abuse. I'm not saying the police are not professional, but people can abuse it.
It can.
We've seen
that
oversight.
during the TRRC
I think we have to look at this thing. Right now, it's in the before the National Assembly. We have seen the position paper of the GPU, the Gambia Press Union, and Article 19. They came because it was a concern. They had to come to the Gambia and then make sure that this bill did not pass, because it doesn't meet the minimum required standards in terms of the UN, the African Union, the International Covenants on Civil and Political Rights, and even the UN Human Rights Comment, you know, Comment 34, that laws should not be brought forward to attack people's right to freedom of expression. You know, so I think the National Assembly has a lot of things to do, because we don't want to go into those, like a serious backsliding, well, you know, in terms of our democratic gains. We are going, you know, this way, and then we want to go back again into those kind of legal tussles.
Earlier, you mentioned the issue of, like, there are some issues on the cybercrime bill. What are the issues? You talked of the issues of freedom of expression and all that.
So I think one of the key issues that, you know, he is looking at the journalistic part. I'm looking at the technical and the other aspect of it. One of the key things that we had issues with is the issue of real-time interception of data, which is very, very dangerous. That can be catastrophic.
Give us an example of a real-time.
So real-time interception of data is that when, for instance, he is being targeted or under investigation, the government have the legal mandate to go to the GSM companies to provide real-time, you know, his communications.
Under surveillance.
Under surveillance
in
real time. I understand.
You know,
that is very, very serious. That is very, very serious. Yes, there are, this time with the cybercrime bill, they put some judicial oversight, meaning a high court judge need to issue.
So it has to be approved.
Yes, by high court judge. But also, for me, you know, as far as governance is concerned in Africa, some of these things you cannot just trust them. That is one of the biggest challenge. And you may never know when you come in terms of real-time interception of data, if you look at part of the data protection and privacy bill, it has also violated the rights of the citizen. You understand? So there are very, very complex issues with regard to between the cybercrime bill and the data protection. Because the data protection and privacy bill, it protects more of the citizens. It doesn't focus on the government. It protects the citizens. Do you understand? Their data and how their data should be protected. So the powers and the procedures under the cybercrime bill is one of the biggest problems, and the issue of mentioning like false news, that is very, very vague, and also mentioning issues of national security. Who determines national security?
Security.
So these are all
bullying.
Yeah, these are all.
That would always be determined by government, I suppose. But let me ask you this: sort of, we're trying to delineate here a kind of country profile. We know that lots of wide range of criminal activity, as it were, really constitute what we call cybercrime. So, but I wonder, in this country, what kind of cybercrimes are being reported? Do we have any one or two being reported more than others? Perhaps want to get a good country profile of what's going on here.
Oh yes, I wish I have the records with me. Our organization, the Gambia Cyber Security Alliance, we have a command and control with almost over 12 screens where we monitor the cyberspace in real time. And we have an online reporting platform where Gambians go, they report their cybercrime, their cases. You understand, ranging from scam, fraud, and all these things. People, so people report this to our platform. So we started this way back in 2019. We have been collecting. We have all the statistics. You understand? In fact, even this 2023, we provided statistics. So every year, we provide up-to-date cybercrime statistics to the Gambia government. That is constant. For the past 5 years, we have been doing that. Do you understand? To provide them in terms of ransomware, who are the biggest target. Like if you look at ransomware, mostly government is the biggest target. You understand? Most cyber criminals target government in terms of ransomware. You understand? So phishing, scam, fraud, malwares, you understand? Exactly, malwares, those things, attacks individuals and all that. And, one of the biggest the work that we did as far as intercepting some of these things was the issue of the AL group and the WISM. We did a joint operation with the police, and which was fantastic. We did very, very well in ensuring that. But also Gambians don't listen, because we normally issue what we call a security advisory. Every week we issue security advisory, like in a form of a press release. We advise people and government to say we suspect a specific form of attack is imminent, and we advise government agencies and private sectors to harden their systems.
But you've said something earlier, and you said Gambians don't read. Granted,
yes, exactly.
Now you're writing stuff. Why don't you change your communication style? Talk to people in the local languages. Use the radio. Most people do that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because you want to be effective, to counter, as it were, the fact that we didn't read. So your communication must also improve, really.
Yeah, as you MS will agree with me on this, one of the biggest problems with civil society is funding. Every civil society has a funding problem. In fact, recently, we conducted a whole nationwide engagement to talk to people about the cybercrime bill. For the local people, because for us, we feel the old woman in Basse need to know what the cybercrime bill is all about, what it entails. Do you understand? What are some of the offenses that are stated there? You understand? And this has been very, 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 very successful. And sometimes also we do events where we engage communities in bantabas and things like that. But as you said, one of the biggest challenge that we have is that I think our media presence, is not very, very out there, because we all know how media operate.
Journalists among your team.
We have journalists who are doing a very good job. In fact, every activity they do, they write it. But as I said before, honestly, reading is a problem in this country. Our advisory, a situation happens, we give an advisory on the 22nd of February. that an attack is imminent in the Gambia.
And how do you do that? Is it online? Do you publish pamphlets? How do you do that?
It's online. We have a Facebook page, we have a website where we publish. We also use different WhatsApp platforms, sharing the PDF note, and also put up a flyer with some of the notes, sharing it. But the interesting part of it is that the February one, the 22nd, and we made it very clear. In fact, we bold the word imminent attack. On the 28th of February, a serious attack happens in this country. But how many people even knows that? So these are things that I think is important for people to take them seriously. And I agree with you, our media presence is very, very low.
Yeah, you can
Ad
be,
additional,
for this morning,
so now
programs
with the
like
bill.
this morning, we are really ready to.
Yeah, for me,
take
I
issues
think
like
they
this.
should also partner
Yeah.
with even GSM operators, like these big GSM operators, because it's also in, it has to interest them. These are things that
I think we have a problem there because with the GSM operators, I can say some of the problems we had is that we had part of our operational mandate as a civil society organization that looks into ICT and cybersecurity is we do campaign about net neutrality as well. But that doesn't go down well with most of the service providers.
Net neutrality?
Yes, it's a form of a principle where we are saying, if I am in Kairaba Avenue, I buy $50 a data, and I am watching TikTok video, and it doesn't bother. Somebody sitting in Jarasoma, if he buys $50, he should enjoy the same services.
Okay.
So with some of these things, you see, but
that should not stop you
Finally,
But now
guys.
let's focus, perhaps. Let's focus more now. There's the bill in the National Assembly. What's your function? What are you going to do so that you can influence the debate?
Yeah.
Perhaps have the right amendments that you want.
For us, we have reached out to when we issued a statement and then a position paper, and the National Assembly were interested, and they call us to come and then at least explain and give them the idea of what is entailed on the position paper. I think a similar issue was done during the offences bill, the criminal offences bill. Yeah. So this is very progressive, and then we are telling them to look into this. They also, I think the Article 19 also had issued another paper. So let them go through these things. These are literatures that are available, and then it will help them. And if they want further clarification and engagement, we can still be available for that. Yes.
And the association?
Fine.
Yeah, from our end, I think one of the key things that happened not long ago is a workshop that was organized by the Ministry of Digital Economy. Because as we know, this is a concern for the Ministry of Digital Economy. Because as you know, administration changes and the way things changes, if he is the custodian of the cybercrime bill, and obviously he is the one who started it and went up to the middle of the process and somebody took over. Obviously, we have seen these things. It creates gap. Do you understand? So because of that, what some of the things that the ministry did with us was to engage the National Assembly Select Committee on ICT, bring them, and organize through the Directorate of Cybersecurity under Sanusi Drame, organize a form of a simulation to better help the ICT Select Committee to understand what cybercrime is really and also understand some of the issues relating to cybercrime. So we're doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Amadou Eba and Mohamed Esba, President of the Gambia Press Union and President of the Gambia Cyber Security Association, for coming. Like I said, this morning platform, we are always open to such discussions and interactions because we think that these are very important issues that we should talk about to really enlighten people. We have the issue of reading, culture of reading in the Gambia. So, but this morning we are always open to such issues. If you have any issues or initiatives, or you feel that people are really there is a threat of people in terms of cyber issues, you can always come to us, and then we will be more than happy to feature you on this morning platform. So, viewers, we will go for a short commercial break. When we return, the program continues. We will have the Public Relations Officer of the Gambia, please force to talk to us about the crime rate in this country. We'll be right back.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning program, and we are on the last segment of this program, and we are having Modu Musa Sissaho, the Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force, to talk to us about crime, how to combat it really, because of recent we've been seeing a lot of cases from kush, to robbery, to a lot of things really. So it's important to talk to him about it, and some of what efforts or what initiatives are they coming up with to really combat crime in the Gambia. We know it's difficult, it's not easy, but yeah, it's good to talk about these things to raise awareness of the people. So good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
So with regard to the issue of crime right now in the Gambia, which type of crime really are we confronted with? Because before it used to be shooting, now we're seeing cases of robbery, and now from there we're seeing the issue of kush. So which is which?
Thank you very much. I think especially of recent, as recent as this week, we've seen a lot of cases in relation to drug-related crime, and even leading to fatality. Actually, as of yesterday, we've made a report where about 3 individuals, very young, talented individuals, young Gambians, a female of about 20, 26 in her 20s. And we've seen other young boys in their 20s from Bara, Banjul. And these are the ones reported. You can never know the others. And I think we've always been saying this. At the level of the Gambia Police Force, and as far as even the security sector in general, we're taking this very serious because we understand that drug has a lot to do with crime. We at the police don't want to leave it to the drug law enforcement agency alone, because at the end of the day, crime-related drug would find themselves at the police stations. And for this reason, the Gambia Police Force Crime Management Department started the operation Fight Against Coups. This has been very effective. Okay. And of recent, also, the government also has initiated a task force, we call it National Task Force on Coups, that we have the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, all sister forces, even the military, and the Ministry of Health equally, especially the public health component, trying to see how we can be able to as a nation, together to work on this and have a solution to it. It's very difficult because if you look at the coups in particular, it's been reported that it's imported into the country, it's brought into the country. How would it get into the country? People would always ask the question, the police are at the borders and all that, but you would agree with me, our borders are very porous, and most of these people wouldn't use the official borders to enter in the country. The other thing is, the people, the young ones, are the ones using this. We are aware that this country now, globally, the world is a global village now, and people, as much as people are coming in for business and other matters in this country, also we would have people who would also introduce certain things that the Gambia is not known for, especially looking at the trend of crime of recent, and that has increased. And also in our, as far as the coups is concerned, the operation, we've realized that most of the people who are arrested equally, we have seen a lot of them who are non-Gambians having to have a relationship of possibility of importing this in the country or in one way or the other. And at the end of the day, like I said, the youths are the future leaders of this country, and I think it's very important that we have a focus on the youth and try to redirect their attention to what matters and what is important, because drug is not the way forward, and drug is not what is going to help us in this country. We are also aware, yes, there have been some crime, different crime in this country, and especially burglary, theft related, and we are seeing that of recent is going down. Generally, crime, traffic related and all that is going down, but the drug related, we cannot confirm whether it's coups, pills and all that, but we are seeing a trend that it is going up, but it fluctuates on and off. So basically that's what is happening. But the crime in general, we have seen in this quarter, I can't give the statistics, but according to the presentation that the Inspector General of Police had in his speech, he highlighted that according to the reports received, there has been a reduction in terms of crime in this country. We may say yes, but I mean, we've been seeing just yesterday 3-4 people died. But we are looking at generally, when we generalize things, individually, yes, we may see the graph going up in terms of death related to crime, but also generally look at crime itself. If you want to compare, you see that there is going down, basically.
It would be interesting to know what period.
Yes,
what period is covered.
No, this is from January to now.
From January
to now. So you realize that within January, the first quarter, now we are almost into the second quarter. If not finished in the second quarter already. This first quarter, if you want to compare it to the second quarter, you realize the first quarter was huge. It was a lot of crime related every now and then. And you could remember even the Ramadan, the Sunkar Salo, there has been a lot of crime, even fatal crime, when people have to go into their houses and stab them and all that, trying to steal their material. And the same thing is happening, but this time it's in the clubs. It's in most of the deaths that occurred related to drug related and in the club. They have been reported to have been in the club, and they've reported to have taken something in the club, and as a result from the club they've been taken to the hospital, and they passed. So we could see this. And it also happened in the first quarter when we had Gizul and the others, STs, you remember, at the Q City?
Yeah.
Yes, at that period also there was that spike in crime, drug-related crimes and deaths and all that. So, and that was the time we started the fight against coups.
That's it. But let me just come back here a bit. For me, really, what I was saying was, I'm not sure really whether 6 months, you said from January to now, 6 months or so, is sort of like a long enough arc to give us longer trends.
Yes.
What's been happening over the 5 years? That would be interesting to know.
Indeed.
To look at the graph, how it goes. I think perhaps that's a better picture,
Sure.
as it were, of crime trends than a 6-month arc. I think
Very
that's
well.
too short
Very well.
for us to extrapolate much
Very
from that.
Very
But
well.
something else. We think that most of this stuff, or all of it, is imported. But we really cannot eliminate the fact that perhaps it could be manufactured here. Can we?
No, we can't.
We can't.
We can't. Because experts, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the National Task Force I'm a part of, and we had discussion around this, and there is a possibility of having to bring the raw material. But there are other ingredients locally available that are put into this and to make it, at the level that it would be or have certain effect. And sometimes because people are not exposed to this, even the officers, most people don't know what coups looks like. We just hear about coups. You understand? Sometimes you may not even know this is coups when you see the raw material, before it is processed to that level. And others would say it's a type of cannabis. It's a different type of cannabis, but something else is added, onto it or into it. So, and that gives it that high level of toxicity and all that, or whatever it may be called.
Wow.
Yeah.
So okay.
Just one more. So now generally crime, drugs and all the rest of it, generally, I want to hear your opinion here. How would you evaluate your effectiveness in your efforts in combating these things? How would you evaluate your own effectiveness, I wonder?
Yes, like I said, we are unable to bring forward or hear the statistics, and what we are speaking from as far as reduction of crime is concerned is the statistics. On a daily basis, the Office of the Inspector General of Police receives reports, we call it SITREPS, reports across the country, and this is collated by a department, a unit called the operations, who give all the incidents reported in the police station every day across the country, and this is put together on a daily basis, and on a weekly basis this is equally put together and even presented to the Security Council, where all of this thing is analyzed and looked into. And out of that is where the Inspector General was speaking of, that from what is being received of recent, there has been a decline in terms of number of crime. However, because there are different types of crimes, and we would see the fluctuation in these crimes, you understand? And one of them at the moment, which is very important, it's drug related, because we've seen a lot of effect of that, people dying, it's just sad. This is going to kill you, but it's still
Is that alarming? Can I use the word alarming to describe it?
Yes,
the situation?
Yes, indeed,
Okay.
indeed. In this it is, and for that, at the level of the you could see our report yesterday when we said that from the Office of the Inspector General of Police, we are calling everybody not just to leave this with the security apparatus, but every Gambian, going back to our parents, our families, because these are our children, these are our sons and daughters, and having to leave them to go this much, we have a take as a country, we have a take as parents. The security can't do this alone, and most of this, when they happen, security wouldn't be there, can't be everywhere. Most of the things that are happening now are reported cases when they actually happen, but what do we do before they happen? How do we prevent this from happening? Because then police will be called, X has just fallen off, or is being stabbed, X, Y, and Z, and we get the report, we take them to the hospital. Before you know it, it's pronounced there.
But again, how is your rapid response?
Yeah, but the rapid response, what could we do at that point in time? In a club, for example, let's take a scenario of what happened, of the three cases. Okay, this happened in a club. It's a private environment. It's clubbing, it's enjoyment. Even they wouldn't allow us to be there to oversee what they are doing, because it's a club, it's a free environment. We are in a democratic space, and club
We hope they have their own security as well as they do. They tend to do.
They tend to do, but generally this is what is happening. So what we can do, or what we would always do, is that we are on our checkpoints, we are on the street to ensure that people are going. But I mean, they have their ways of doing this because you know you are into this business and you know where the police would be and all that. So before the police are there, or before even the event, you go and put whatever you need to put in place because police wouldn't be in the club. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to also understand the limitations when it happened, because mostly when police are informed, it's happening already. And what can we do is to pick the person and take to the hospital. And before you know it, hospital is reported that.
But is it not possible to deploy your officers around that and to actually monitor the situation? Because we know that in most cases during the weekend you have a lot of activities, especially around the Senegambia area, and during concerts too. We know that there are a lot of activities, especially drug-related issues happening around.
Okay, at the moment, what we are doing, I think this has been going since last year. We have what we call, because of this, the increase of crime, drug-related crime, we have what we call weekend joint security patrol, including all the sister forces with military, weekend from Friday to Monday in the morning. Like last Friday to date, this is happening, okay? The anti-crime is going. That's different with the anti-crime, that's different with the PIU. And regionally, we have what we call task force. Every region within this country, we on a daily basis, this is happening, this is ongoing. And this is something that has been put in place. And it was informed by the statistics at the time in terms of crime rate. That's what happened. And also, don't forget, we also have in the KUS operation that is also ongoing with the crime management. Crime management department is what we call the CID department, because this has to do with drugs and all that, because the only way to get is to have you be camouflaged, you have to be within them and all that stuff. So this is actually happening. This is what we are doing at the level of the police. Now the issue is, we're trying to see how we can collaborate with all stakeholders, though we have the national task force on this. But again, like I said, at the end of the day, it falls back to the police, at the police stations. People stabbing each other, stealing and all that. So what we are doing, we are not relenting. We have put all of this in place to ensure that, our men are on the street, visibility to ensure that people see. But drug dealers have their ways. You understand? They will always find ways to be able to peddle. But how can we do this? To support is the public, because these are people. We have them ourselves. You know your brother is a peddler. You know your son is a peddler. You know your son or daughter is into this, cocaine. He or she takes it. He sells it. Who comes forward?
Sort of not likely to get a member of the family to come and grass on their relatives. So see, that was why earlier I asked you to evaluate your own effectiveness. Because if we go anecdotally, what you hear, there's so much crime now, it appears as if the methods being applied are not quite working, hence the rise. How do we explain the rise if there is effectiveness?
I think what is happening is there seems to be effective communication from the level of the police now than before. There has been a lot of reporting that is happening on issues that might have been ignored for one reason or the other. Of recent, we are saying everything that we are doing. Whatever is coming, we are sharing with the public. The public is bombarded with information from the police. This is happening, we have done this is happening, we have done this is happening. And now people are like, wow. You understand the dynamics. I think this is the difference. It doesn't mean it wasn't happening this way, but the level at which the police is communicating to the public has changed. And people are saying, well, all of this is happening? And not everything we are sharing. We are only sharing things that we could share with the public. You understand? At the level of the police. So I think this is the misconception that is going on around that, because when we look at crime that are committed within, let's just say on a daily basis, the report that we receive on a daily basis, it's a lot. Among that, we look at what could be consumed by the public, what is of public interest, is what we pull out, put up something, and share with the public. And this almost happens on a daily basis. Whether you know it or not, we are reporting on a daily basis, either crime happened, or preventive measures, or what we are doing as activities. So because there has been an increase, so people are having the feeling that, but come on, 2-3 years ago, this was not happening. We've not been hearing X, Y, and Z. Now we are hearing Y, Z. What is happening? Is it the crime is increasing? No, it's not. I think it's even reducing. What is happening is the information that is coming out from the police is what is increasing, the level of communication. That's my position.
Granted, but are you receiving systematic data nationwide on crime? Because without that data, you really do not get a good profile of what is going on.
Yes, I think I said this earlier, or at the beginning. I said one of the issues highlighted, I did not come with data here, but the Inspector General of Police, who receives this information on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
On a daily basis, the statistics across the country, and this is collated together on a weekly basis, and monthly, quarterly, and all that. This is informing us that the level of crime has reduced in this quarter.
So how long have you been doing this?
Doing what?
Collecting data systematically. You've said the report that
yes, this has been happening. I can't remember since because I found it in the system.
It was in the system.
Yes, yes, exactly. This is happening.
So you can tell me the crime projections or the crime trajectory, a 5-year crime trajectory. You can give it to me?
More than that, we can.
You can give it. All right.
More than that. What I'm saying, the data is there. Now, what will happen is, okay, how do you analyze the data? Because it depends on what you are looking at. Having to have, even within the 6 months, you may say, okay, from January to now, it's too short to determine. But it depends on what you are looking at what level you are looking at it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Way. Thank you very much, viewers. I'm afraid that's all we got time for. Until we come your way tomorrow for another edition of this morning program. Bye-bye and enjoy the rest of our programs.